right above example number 30, you see our steps for implicit differentiation. Derive both sides of the equation with respect to x. Once you've done that, you want to collect all the dy dx terms on one side of the equation. Doesn't matter if it's the left side or the right side. Then you're going to factor that dy dx out, and finally you're going to divide in order to solve for dy dx. We didn't really have to do all of those steps in the previous example because there was only one dy dx term. But example 30 actually has two dy dx terms when we get our derivative. So let's see all the steps in action. Okay, so we're going to derive each term with respect to x. So 2y, well, the derivative of 2x would be 2, so the derivative of 2y will also be 2, but we need the dy dx because we derived a y term. And that's where that chain rule comes in. Then we have x squared on the other side of the equation. X squared derives to 2x, just like it did in the previous video. Then we have the sine of y. Sine of y, doesn't matter that this got trig involved, all of our rules still apply. Sine x derives to cosine x, sine y derives to cosine y. However, because we're taking the derivative of an expression that involves y, okay, we're doing the chain rule, which means we derive that y, we need the dy dx right after it. So it's cosine y times dy dx. Okay, so there's our derivative. We have two dy dx's. We only want one. We want to solve for one. So we have to get both the dy dx's onto the same side of the equation so that we can factor it out. We can quickly do that by subtraction. Let's subtract cosine y dy dx from both sides. All right, subtract it on the right and subtract it on the left. Doing so, we now have 2 dy dx minus cosine y dy dx is equal to 2x. Okay. Two dy dx terms, two terms in general, they have a common factor. That common factor is dy dx. We're going to factor that out. So we pull the dy dx out, we divide it out, we write the remainder inside the parentheses. 2 dy dx divided by dy dx, just 2. Cosine y dy dx divided by dy dx gives us cosine y. So start factoring from earlier algebra classes. Over on the right side, we still have our 2x. That hasn't moved at all. All right, now we want to get dy dx all by itself. We want to solve for it. One step and we're done. Divide. Divide both sides by 2 minus cosine y. When we do that, we have dy dx all by itself. We're all set. We have our derivative. So let's divide both sides by 2 minus cosine y. Obviously, that's going to cancel over here on the left. And we're going to be left with 2x over 2 minus cosine y. There's our derivative.